What's going on, everyone? Ring Rumble here, coming back at you with another massive roundup of all the latest, wildest, and most eyebrow-raising stories from the wrestling world. Today's update is packed with news and speculation that fans will definitely want to hear, from shocking contract exits to controversial remarks, injury updates, storyline twists, and even some permanent behind-the-scenes changes within WWE. On the docket, we've got reports that Karrion Kross and Scarlett are apparently done with WWE. Questions surrounding whether the company might be pulling off an elaborate work to fool fans and talent alike. Kross himself speaking out with his side of the story. CM Punk being called out for supposedly being the same old Punk we've always known. Punk mending fences with a longtime critic. An injured NXT champion set to make his way back to WWE programming. A major star officially confirmed for an upcoming premium live event, a permanent change to the post-show press conference format, and fresh comments on the never-ending Bloodline saga. Buckle up, because there's a lot to unpack here. The top story dominating headlines revolves around Karrion Kross, the intense and imposing competitor whose time with WWE seems to have officially reached its end, at least for now. As widely known, his WWE contract was set to expire yesterday, and Kross took to social media platform X to confirm that his deal had indeed run out and that he is now accepting bookings for independent shows. The announcement was quick, direct, and to the point, but it still sent shockwaves through the wrestling community, sparking a flurry of speculation and trending at #1 in the United States for an extended period. While Kross kept his goodbyes short, likely to coincide with the public release of his new documentary, his wife Scarlett took the time to post a heartfelt message reflecting on her experience in WWE. In her statement, she described her run with the company as an incredible journey and praised the WWE locker room as the best she's ever been a part of, emphasizing that her colleagues felt like family rather than just co-workers. She expressed deep affection for the fans, calling them partners in every match and explaining that their energy and support were the reason she and Kross gave everything they had each time they stepped into the ring. Scarlett closed by saying she's ready to make her next chapter unforgettable and is open to performing anywhere in the world. Support poured in from fans across the globe, but as always in wrestling, there's a question lurking in the background. Is this all part of an elaborate storyline? Many believe WWE has been blurring the line between reality and fiction more than ever lately, and the debut of the WWE Unreal series hasn't exactly eased suspicions. However, reports from Fightful Select suggest that the departures are genuine. Multiple sources within WWE, from both the talent and creative sides, have been told the exits are legitimate. That said, in the world of professional wrestling, there's always the possibility that a real situation can be spun into a storyline later on. Promoters who have spoken with Kross and Scarlett aren't entirely sure if they should move forward with booking them, given the uncertainty. If this were a work, it would mean Kross, Scarlett, and WWE higher-ups are all in on it together, possibly keeping even the creative team partially in the dark. Wrestling Observer Radio added that the belief among some in WWE is that Kross will be back eventually, but the company is keeping everyone guessing, creating an atmosphere of skepticism. If Kross were to return, WWE could easily use this real-life contract expiration as fuel for an angle, especially given that his frustrations with the company have some legitimate roots. Speaking of frustrations, Kross didn't hold back in his newly released YouTube documentary, where he provided a candid look at his WWE tenure. One of the more surprising revelations was that when he began receiving louder and more consistent cheers from audiences, certain people within WWE told him not to acknowledge those reactions. To Kross, this felt completely wrong. Building a strong connection with the crowd is rare, and to be instructed to ignore it was deeply frustrating. He went on to say that he didn't feel everyone in the company was working toward the same goals that the audience clearly wanted, and that ignoring fan sentiment only makes the crowd more vocal. Before his recent program with Sami Zayn, Kross was often relegated to WWE Main Event, a show with far fewer viewers, yet even there, the crowd reactions to him were electric. In his documentary, Kross also addressed speculation about his feelings toward Triple H. While it might seem natural to assume that he has issues with the chief content officer, Kross clarified that a previous guy in the suit and tie comment wasn't about Triple H directly, but was meant as a metaphor. However, he did criticize Triple H for a moment after SummerSlam when the crowd was loudly chanting, "We want Kross" at him, but Triple H acted as though they were chanting for Brock Lesnar instead. Kross argued that ignoring such clear fan reactions is bad business and makes audiences feel like they don't matter, something he says will inevitably turn people away from the product. This brings us to our next major story, which involves CM Punk, a man whose return to WWE was one of the most talked about wrestling moments in recent years. Former WWE star Maven, never one to shy away from speaking his mind, recently discussed Punk in a YouTube video while reviewing the WWE Unreal series. According to Maven, Punk is essentially the same person he's always been, despite Triple H claiming he saw a new and improved Punk before re-signing him. Maven pointed out that Punk's comment about Seth Rollins being a version of him and benefiting from his style shows that he's still the same individual in many ways, but Maven didn't think that was necessarily a bad thing, saying he didn't believe Punk needed to change in the first place. Whether Maven's assessment is accurate is hard to say, especially since multiple WWE talents and Triple H himself have gone on record saying Punk has been a pleasure to work with since coming back. Interestingly, Punk also recently patched things up with someone who had criticized him for years, former Raw general manager Eric Bischoff. Although Bischoff had never met Punk in person until recently, he had made plenty of disparaging remarks about him over time. That changed when the two met backstage at Raw, and Bischoff took the opportunity to tell Punk it was a pleasure to finally meet him, admitting that he had said some pretty foolish things in the past. He described Punk as classy in person, a significant shift from his previous tone. Moving on to injury news, it appears that former NXT champion Ilya Dragunov is close to making his return to WWE television. Dragunov suffered an ACL injury earlier in 2024, but according to reports from Corey Hayes on X, his comeback is expected soon. Fans of the intense and physically fearless competitor will no doubt be thrilled to see him back in action, though one can only hope WWE resists saddling him with a gimmick or presentation that doesn't suit his strengths. In other big news, Triple H recently revealed the official poster for WWE's upcoming Premium Live event, Clash in Paris, which prominently features Roman Reigns. This all but confirms that the Tribal Chief will be competing on the show. Speculation is already swirling about what